Okay, so you said that. Go ahead and say how your 1 and 2 favorite of the whole series.
Yeah, 1 and 2 for this gonna be, well, from what I remember, would be the 1 and 2 for the whole series overall. We'll get to number one later. But with Brooke, I just love all the stuff with her. She has like a huge character arc, in season one. It progresses over and over. Um, I don't dislike the stuff in season four as much as you do, apparently.
Not yet,
Not yet.
because you had to rewatched it. Because
Um,
I didn't think I minded it as much. Because I thought she'd definitely be my top 5. Because I thought she'd be my number 3 before I started rewatching it.
thought you show some respect for her, but that's not.
But
But it's everything overall. Like I said, it's Sophia Bush's performance is a huge reason why this is as high as it is. Just phenomenal overall. But like everything that she goes through, you learn she's when you first see her, she's really self-absorbed, and you kind of don't care for her because of that. But then you learn later, she's really on her own. She's got this big, fancy house, but nobody's there. It's just her, which obviously that works with her and Peyton's relationship while they're friends. But then, like I said, you bring her mom in, Brooke's mom in, and just another character. Get out of here.
Brooke's mom?
Yeah. To begin with,
Sarah hates her right now. We're on season 5. Now,
not for me.
I don't know. I'm not going to speak too much on her yet because I'm only in her first season. So, like, as far as rewatching it goes, so I don't know how I'm going to feel about, because they really do like a redemption sort of on her as well. And for the most part, I like what they end up doing with her character, and the fact that they end up choosing. Well, I like her in season 5, and you really get to see why Brooke is the way she is.
Yeah, Nipple's daughter,
which is great. But I don't hate that they end up repairing their relationship by the end of the show. What I do hate, and this is something we'll talk about when we get to season 9, like when we do this for the later years, is the stuff they do with her dad, because her dad's a piece of shit, and they should have never did anything redeeming with him at all. But I guess conversation for a separate time.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't like characters like that, the parents that just aren't around and then pop back up.
Well, that's
she's
what Sarah was saying. She's like, like Peyton's dad is just never there.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, he's not. And
at least season for work, he's still not there.
Yeah, but I mean, like season 3, he comes back after the shooting.
Brooke's mom is just out.
But you don't have that much of a problem with it I don't have that much problem until season 3. That's when he comes back after the shooting. But then we never see his character again. And he's trying to be so much of a dad when he comes back in season 3 too. Like, Pete's not allowed, and I'm like, all this, and I'm like, yeah. What do you think happens when you're not here, dude?
He doesn't watch the webcam.
And then like he just doesn't come back in season 4 at all. Not for doesn't come back for his daughter's graduation.
And who cares? It's graduation. Not even this. I don't even know why he had an episode based on that. Who cares about graduation? But yeah, that's why I don't like a mom. Like you're never around, and then when you are around, it's for your own self-interest too. Which, like I say, you really appreciate her character then, because Brooke actually changes early on, and just everything she does go through, like with.
Well, her parents are around in season 1 and 2, kind of. We just don't see them. But I get what you're saying. But they are there. We just don't see them.
They're not there for her.
Right. No.
There's a big difference in just being in the same house and just, no one to connect. You just let your daughter.
Season 3 and 4, they're not even. They're across the country.
Ouch.
And she hasn't heard from them in months. Like she says that in season 4. She hasn't heard from them in about a year.
So she finds out she's poor.
No, I'm talking about season 4.
Oh, yeah. It's out. But yeah, all the stuff she goes through, like I say, mixed with her performance, that's why she's as high up as she is. Especially the stuff they do with her character later on.
My number 2 is your favorite. Is your number 1. And now, what I want to say to start things off, and I've said this before, he is my favorite character of the whole series. I'm a huge fan of this character, and I'm obviously he's my number 2 in the high school years. The only reason I put him at number 2 in the high school years is because him in season 1, 2, and 3, I gotta think, would I like that character as much in those 3 seasons if it wasn't Paul Johansson playing that in his performance? Probably not, but he does such a good job in those seasons, making me just not be able to turn away, like keep watching him in those 3 seasons. But at the end of season 3 and then going into season 4 is when he does that turn as a character where he really becomes my favorite character of the series. But the first 3 seasons, it was Peyton. So overall, the high school years, I would say Peyton's my favorite character. But overall, it would switch between Dan, who is my second favorite character. He would be my favorite character overall.
No, he's my favorite character. Your list is incorrect. It's all the bad choices that he makes. That it just, well, all the bad choices you think he's made, and then learn that's not exactly true.
Exactly.
You learn a lot about him, like I say, in the counseling episode, and then like I say, the little bits later on here and there, like yeah, he wanted to be that guy. He wanted to be the dad. He was. I wasn't going to dip. I was going to be there for you, and your mom didn't want no part of it. She wouldn't let me. So it's been this whole like fabricated story the whole time. Still not a great guy.
No.
To begin with, obviously he's made some big mistakes in this.
But I mean, you found out he's made mistakes, like the fact that he left her at all to begin with. But he always loved her. Came back the night Lucas was born. Walked in, found Keith holding Lucas.
Yep.
So he never went in the room. The night, he was gonna leave and come back to Karen before that, and then Deb told him that she was pregnant, so that messed that up. His wedding to Deb, he spent the whole night, drove to Tree Hill and slept out in front of Karen's house, thinking about going in, thinking about going and telling her how he felt. Didn't do it. Fact that he offered, or he wanted to be a part of Lucas's life, Karen said no. He offered us money. She wouldn't take money, which is like another thing they bring up in season 5 too. When they go to his parole hearing, Lucas is like, he's never here for me or provided anything when he was a man of means. I'm like, what are you talking about? He definitely did.
He was going to, and you went to live with him.
Right.
Nothing. He gave me nothing, Your Honor.
Oh yeah, had a college fund from Lucas since he was a boy.
Yep. That's gone now. I love that scene. You get nothing.
That means out.
Yeah.
You'll never be out, son.
Oh man. But everything about his acting, the character traits, it's all the good and bad choices they have him make. Murdering your brother, a little messed up.
Yes, but
even justifiable homicide.
There, and this is what I love about it, and this is one of the things I had a problem with during this rewatch, is that in the end of season 2 into season 3, there's a few choices they make him make that I don't agree with. In that, well, not just choices that he makes, but stories that Deb tells, which in my opinion, I think she's lying about some of these stories.
Which ones?
to manipulate Nathan. And I know it's not supposed to be written that way, but that's how I perceive it because I don't think Dan would do that. What's that?
Like high flyers?
The high flyers one.
Because I could. Well, I don't know. See, I could believe that since Dan like kind of explained it.
I believe that aspect, but the fact that she told Nathan, this is the same story. No. Is that in season 3 you're talking about when she tells him about him saying that he would kill her?
No, I'm talking about. I don't know. Well, it might not be high flyers. It's with the academy, the other school that he was supposed to go to.
I can't remember. I know he didn't want Nathan to go to high flyers, and he explains that. No, yeah, it is in season 3 because he brings it up to Dan after that, and he was like, would you want to be the little fish or the little fish and the big and all that? But she tells him in season 3 that Dan was like, if you take Nathan and stop him or stop me from like doing this or whatever, like I'll find you and I'll kill you or whatever. I'm like, I don't think he would have said that. Going back to season 1, Dan, like I don't think he would threaten to kill her.
I would. I don't care about that.
But would you believe that as a character? I don't like.
I'd have to watch it overall.
And like people might would throw in the argument and different stuff that he did in season 3. But I'm like, he's at a different point in that season, mentally. Like I mean, you say his brother.
Somebody you didn't know at the beginning.
Well, somebody tried to kill him. And that goes back to, like I'm saying, it's not right, obviously, that he killed Keith. But if you look at it, you start to understand. You understand why. Like, I mean, number one, he thought he was the one that tried to kill him.
Yeah, you probably should have had some more research on that.
Yes, but it was it was very much clear that it was him. Like looking at the evidence.
Yeah.
Obviously, that was because they actually saw each other that day, Keith and Deb and other stuff. And that's another moment that I love, and we'll talk about those in a bit. But it's like when she tells him that she was the one that did it, and just can't fucking imagine his like, oh my god, the decision that you made, and then that you find that out.
I don't know. I don't know. I can't imagine telling somebody that because like he killed his brother.
She doesn't know that
because he thought he did it. So why would you be like, yo, yeah, it was me? Like, what do you think? He don't care about you? That's his brother.
But she didn't know that.
Man. Yeah, that's a bold statement.
But there's that situation where she tells Nathan that. There's also the story Nathan tells in season 1, which I could believe that more than the story she tells. But like that he like kicked Nathan during baseball. Like I don't really know if he would have kicked Nathan, especially in front of all those people.
I could see him like grabbing his arm or something.
Yeah, but I don't like kicking him. I don't know. I think you're just imagining more. Imagining more that happened there. But I don't know. Certain moments like that. Also certain like I said, most of his decisions are based on something. There's reasoning to it. There's motivation behind what he does. That's why like there's certain scenes, and this goes back to who wrote it. Like the end of season 2 when he like kisses Karen. I didn't like that. That was bad writing.
Karen didn't like it.
No, she didn't, and I don't think that would be necessarily. I don't think Dan would have done that.
No, maybe the writer would have done that.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I will live through my characters.
Yeah, but that's our favorite characters. Now we're going on to favorite episodes of the high school years. I'm going to go ahead and give you my honorable mentions real quick. Starting with number 15 is the mid-season finale of season 2. 210, Don't Take Me for Granted. this was one of my favorite episodes of season 2. Really like the stuff with Peyton. That's why I like this episode so much. The whole situation that someone painted Dyke on her locker and how she responds to that of not backing down, not laughing it off, standing up to it, wearing that shirt into school. And then when Turner comes and confronts her, she's like, can you hear my music now? Just takes her shirt off and throws it at him. Also the stuff with Nathan Haley that's going on, especially with Nathan and his performance and response to their relationship. Number 14 is 113, Hanging by a Moment. This is the episode in season 1 that the car crash happens and Dan saves Lucas. That's primarily why this episode is an honorable mention. I really like that obviously he was going to, but he not only saves Lucas and Keith and takes them to the hospital, but yeah, he makes the decision to tell them that he's the father, so that he can have the surgery. Number 13 is 107, Life in a Glass House. I have a couple in my list here that are like this, where it's like, this isn't like a huge episode where there's like any action and there's like big like moments or whatever, but it's just like a really good written episode and a lot of like character interactions that I really like. And we'll talk about that when we get to my favorite some of his favorite moments is like this is the episode, Lucas and Peyton almost hook up, but then like he's like telling her how much he wants in the relationship, and she's just wanting sex right now. Then the stuff too where the episode ends with just Lucas and Haley being back with each other at the cafe, and them being there for each other when they went to this house, played, popular game for a while with all these other people, and then they ended up back at the Karen's Cafe. Number 12 is 415, Prom Night at Hater High. This one made it in there just primarily because of the stuff between Brooke and Peyton. That fight scene outside of their house, one of my favorite moments. The acting from both of them is incredible in that moment, and especially from Hillary Burton when she stands up and she's like, you made fun of my mom's death. You were there. You cried with me when she died, and then you use it as a punchline to hurt me.
Oh.
Just, man. And then number 11 is the finale, like the definitive finale of season 2, which is 223, The Leavers Dance. Just because of some of the epic moments in there, from the fire to Lucas revealing his feelings for Brooke, everything with Dan in that episode. That was a good one.
All right, I got my honorable mentions. Number 15, I've got season 2, episode 15, Unopened Letter to the World. Is where all the kids have to do the video recordings. It's a really, really good episode. You got all this with Nathan, everything going on. Haley's out for right now. But not only this episode, but the fact of what it does later in the series. All the stuff that comes out when it does get released. That really brings it to pretty much, like I said, once you're rewatching everything, it brings it all full circle. Number 14, I've got season 3, episode 2, From the Edge of the Deep Green Sea. This is party on the beach. Everybody's coming back. You got Nathan, into season 2, went to the camp. You've got the relationship, the complexity with Lucas and Brooke. They're trying to work things out. I think he's trying to be all in at this point, and she's really hesitant based on what happened. And then you've got, Haley, Peyton, she's dealing, all this stuff, and,
finding out her mom was not her actual mom.
Not even close. So stuff like that are really like how that kind of comes. Like I say, it's probably not the best episode.
It's a good one, though.
One of my favorites. Number 13 is season 2, episode 5, the Dare episode. This one is more fun than anything. Like you get to learn a lot about the characters. Unfortunately, you get introduced to some terrible ones I don't care about at all. It's just at all. It's just awful. but yeah, like all like so you get to pair them up with characters like you hadn't really seen together, and then the ones you have seen, like I think it was it Nathan and Tim that got put together, and they had it,
Yeah.
stuff. He's like, you kind of left, man. Like all of them, like I've been your best friend, and so you got that, which doesn't really matter because you wrote Tim out again.
I like his episode in season 5 though when he comes back.
Yeah, Bevan.
I didn't. Let me throw that in there real quick because I talked about this before. I don't like how Bevan has that reveal in season 4 that she's not really dumb.
Yeah, not at all.
Because like if that's the case, what's that?
I love that scene.
Well, if you're gonna do that, okay, that you made that decision. So why in season 5 when you bring her back does she still act stupid and works at Macy's? Not there's anything wrong with working at Macy's. But I'm just saying, like you made that reveal, like, oh, I'm so smart. Like I thought when she came back, this opportunity to make her be doing something successful, or at least just not act stupid.
Yeah, like you could have had her, do anything.
Yeah.
Oh, still dumb. Yeah, it goes to number 12, which season 1, episode 4 is Crash Into You. Lucas is finally on the hot streak. And you got him and Nathan obviously still are getting along at this point. Which, why would you? Nathan's a jerk. But he has him over, to the house. Like here and there, you think things are going to work out. And it's just an opportunity for Nathan just to roast him in front of everybody. So what a great guy he is for that. And then you got Nathan drunk driving, crashes Peyton's car, just leaves it there. So I just don't care. But this is where you start to build the Nathan and Haley relationship. The tutoring and everything I say is obviously becomes like a major thing. God, man, just get some incense. It doesn't even work. But yeah, that was another one, like the an open letter to the world, where all of it plays majorly into the rest of the season and the series, with everything that happens there.
Yeah.
So my final honorable mention is season 4, episode 16. You call it madness, but I call it love. So good. Love this episode. It's incredible.
Definitely did not make it in there for me.
No, I love this episode. And like I am going off memory, but like I say, I was looking to the descriptions and I was like, yeah, I loved everything about this episode. Not Psycho Derek taking advantage of it.
I'm like,
I'll put that out there. But like I say, it's just all this stuff, coming together. Obviously, Psycho Derek, back on the scene. Has Peyton in the house, Brooke, coming in and help, so that you're starting to build their relationship back. Which, like I say, I liked that, finally it took a really, strong turn for them throughout season 4. Like they, like you said, the episode where they had that big fight, Brooke made fun of her mom's death. So you're starting to patch that up. But then you got the reveal, Lucas finds out who was in the hallway. So that leads further down to stuff later on. You find who actually killed Keith, wasn't Jimmy. And it's, I don't know. I do love this episode. Obviously you don't.
I mean, I don't hate it, but I'm not a huge fan of obviously I'm not a fan of Psycho Derek. But like, I don't know. I don't know if I would have had him in there twice. What I do like about them bringing him back a second time is that Peyton doesn't have like a guy defeat him. You know, the first time it's Lucas and her actual brother, Derek, to defeat Ian Banks. The second time it's more her and with the help of Brooke. But I don't know. Like part of my problem with that too bleeds into what happens after that. I think they should have killed him.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
And instead of him getting arrested, which I did like her saying, "Give me 5 minutes," and just starts kicking the shit out of his ribs. But what I don't like, and this is not in this episode, is like 418, which did not make it on my list, but I do love the stuff with Dan in that episode. They bring him back and she like visits him in prison. You get like find out like he had this girlfriend look like Peyton and all this, and I'm like, dude, I don't care. This guy's a fucking creep. I don't need any sort of like redeeming aspect to him, or like background why he's just a creep. Leave it at that.
Well, I don't care at all.
No
sympathy for you, man. Not for me. But that was my final honorable mention.
Okay.